Hey everybody, welcome to the Hallmark Movie Drafts meetup. First ever, we've got three great guest GMs who are all Hallmark movie enthusiasts or experts, and they will be competitively collaborating to draft the definitive list of the best 11 Andrew Walker Hallmark movies, rating them in order from 11th to first place out of the possible 21 movies that are eligible. So tonight's matchup is basically about cutting that list in half while also ranking them from 11th to first. I'm Lynn, I'm going to be your drafting commissioner, and with me is Erinbeth, my co-commissioner. Erinbeth, can you believe it's finally here tonight?
No, I could not believe I had enough time to watch all of these movies.
You saw 21?
Over and over again.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, full disclosure, I'm a huge fan of the Screen Drafts podcast, and I've been wanting to do a Zoom meetup following their format, but around Hallmark movies. And it was really just a matter of trying to find the right topic. Like, should it be on one of the Hallmark tropes, like, you know, my fake boyfriend or a business that needs rescuing? Or should it be around an actor or actress, or maybe one of the seasons? So I've been thinking about this for a couple of months, and then, as luck would have it, in August, Bramblefest hit, Deck The Hallmark's Bramblefest, and I saw this woman show up with a pillow that had Andrew Walker's face on it, right? You saw that too, Erinbeth, didn't you?
Yeah.
So then I see her performing karaoke, and she is introduced as Emily Walker. And I say to Erinbeth, oh my gosh, is that Andrew's wife? Totally serious. And Erinbeth says, no, that's Emily. She's a double-decker. And that's when I knew it had to be this. So without any further ado, I'm going to start to introduce our three drafters, the GMs, all three of whom are longtime Hallmark movie watchers, whether they want to be or not. And all three of them recently spent a couple of days hanging out with Andrew on a personal level at the Bramblefest event. And first up, I have to introduce Emily. Emily is amazing. She's actually not married to Andrew. Her last name is not Walker, but she's clearly a super fan. And while she's technically not a professional Hallmark movie expert, I'm pretty damn sure she is an Andrew Walker Hallmark movie expert. So Emily, welcome. When you were at Bramblefest, did Andrew see your pillow with his face on it?
Oh yeah, that's a full complete story here that I don't think we have enough time for. But he was I vaguely introduced him to the pillow concept in the lobby of the hotel on Thursday night. Brought him
before the event even started.
So that was, and there was another great double-decker, Elizabeth Cohen, that witnessed this whole entire transaction of conversation. Got awkward. I left. I departed myself from the situation. Then Lovely on Friday night here, he was full into it. He was completely good sport about it. But I think the pillow brought me some good luck that night on trivia, I will say. And then the rest is history.
Do you have your pillow tonight? Because you know we're going to start trivia again. All right, great. So next up is Dan, aka Daniel, who actually needs no introduction at all. Dan is a Hallmark movie expert, maybe unwillingly, I don't know. And he is one of the hosts of the Deck The Hallmark podcast. And Dan, I recently heard you and Alonzo on the Screen Drafts pod, helping to draft the top 12 Hallmark Christmas movies. Did you have a good time?
It was so much fun, but I'm kicking myself over my strategy. Like, I went about it all wrong. This draft, I've already got a better strategy. I feel like I'm comfortable with all three positions that I would draft in. But in that draft, I talked with Bran, I talked with Panda, we had a strategy, and it was just a bad strategy. Like, just a flat out, not the strategy to take in that draft. And so rookie mistakes across the board. Somehow he ended up with Alicia Witt movie at number 1. So yeah, a little embarrassing there, but I feel better. I feel like I'm better. I'm not going to try at trivia. Emily still has her pillow with her. I don't want to take any chances, but I feel good about the draft. Trivia, no. Draft, yes. Ready for it.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that when I posted that question in the group about, is anybody here screen drafts? Dan was actually the first person to respond.
Right.
And I told him, I messaged him and I said, well, this is what I want to do. I want to do this little meetup, kind of, map it after screen drafts, but have it be on Hallmark movies. And I just saw this woman, Emily, and I think we got to do it with Andrew Walker, and I'll try to get Emily. And Dan had zero hesitation. He was like, I am here for it. So
I'm in. Absolutely in. You can
totally
run. Alonzo and I have this, like Alonzo hates to rank things, and I love everything about arguing over a ranking. Like, it's just what I live for. Like, I don't care. Top 3 drive-through fast food restaurants, top 5 pizza chains, top 3 worst Volkswagens. I don't care. Like, let's do it. Like, I'm here to yell and scream and argue and not actually care or get mad at anyone. It's my personality. It's like whatever. It's my Achilles heel in life. I just love it so much.
So we have like the Andrew Walker superfan. We have the experienced ranker, drafter, Dan, a Hallmark movie expert. And our third GM is Jillian.
Hi.
Do not let Jillian's smile fool you, or her sort of quiet demeanor, because she is here to kick your ass and crush your dreams. She can do this.
Probably happened.
Because the smack talk has already started, you guys. I've seen the messages you've been writing to one another. Jillian, I'm so glad that you are here and you're doing this with us. And you're on the East Coast with where Dan and I are. How hard was it for you to put your list together?
It was pretty hard. I feel like I've been doing homework trying to watch all these movies and fit them all in. I didn't actually, to be honest, I did not actually get around to watching all of them. And unlike Dan, I have zero strategy, and I have no idea what's going to happen with my no pillow. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with my list, but I'm very excited to be here.
Okay. Emily is hugging Andrew's face.
You feel like he's firm.
That's great. All right, so let me just quickly review the gameplay. So we all agreed that in order to be eligible out of the 21 movies that Andrew's done for Hallmark, or out of all the movies that Andrew has done, they had to have premiered on the Hallmark Channel or Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. So that's how we came up with the 21. All you guys got the list of those 21 movies that you could work off of, so nobody would be in default. So there are 3 drafting positions tonight. There's drafter C, drafter B, and drafter A. And in addition to the picks, the rank numbers that will be assigned to each of those positions, each drafting position will have at least one veto that you can play. And here's how the vetoes work. If someone plays a movie title and you don't think it should be on the list at all, you can veto it. Or maybe you think it should be moved higher up on the list, you can veto it. And that takes the movie out of that place, but it doesn't take the movie out of the game. Anyone can play it again at any time in any position. So it's still there, it's just not there for you. And you'll have to send me another pick to fill that slot, okay? But then there's this other veto called the veto override. And the veto override actually can blast away a veto that's been played. So a good example for that is someone plays a movie title in the 10th position, someone else vetoes it, but you think, if you've got the veto override, you think that that's the perfect place for it to be. So you can say, hey, veto override, I'm blasting away this other veto, and that means that the movie title is there to stay in that position. All discussion is over and done with, and we go on to something else. Does that sound pretty straightforward to you guys? Okay, great. So here are the drafting positions. Drafter C picks positions 11, 10, 6, and 3. They get the one veto that you all get, but they also get a bonus veto, which works exactly like the traditional veto does. You basically get 4 picks and 2 vetoes to play around with. So you've got a little clout there. Drafter B picks positions 9, 8, 5, and 2, and gets 1 veto. No other vetoes. Why? Because those are really key positions in the ranking that can help to determine the outcome of the list. Drafter A picks positions 7, 4, and number 1, numero uno. Drafter A gets only 3 picks, as you just heard, and they get 1 veto, but they are also the keepers of the veto override. So there's a lot going on, and I can repeat those if you need them again as we move through the game. So how do we choose who gets which drafting position? That is done by winning Emily's trivia round. Whoever guesses 2 trivia questions first gets to pick the drafting position when we're finished with the round. And then the next GM to guess 1 answer will get to pick their position second. And then the person who didn't win at all ends up with whatever's left over. So Erinbeth, I'm going to kick it over to you to get started.
All right. So I just want to go over a few of my rules for trivia. First one is the patience clause. Do not answer until I finish the question. If you interrupt me, the question will be discarded and a new question will be asked. And the let's have manners rule. If you answer a question wrong, you must wait for the other drafters to try to answer the question before you can try again. So just a reminder that the GM who answers the first 2 questions or 2 questions correctly first, you get to choose your space, your place for drafting. Then the person that answers the very next question gets to go next. The last one gets to get what's left over. So,
And you're just going to call out your answers. We're not going to call on you.
Yeah.
So no Merry Christmas, like back in trivia
No,
where
you just yell it out.
wonderful.
You just yell it out as quickly as possible. And Lynn
whoever
and
we hear first.
Lynn and I will decide if it's close. We will confer with each other. No comments from the peanut gallery. It comes down to what we decide. So are you guys ready to go?
Nope.
Let's do this.
All right. Question number 1. In Date with Love, what was the original theme of the prom?
Western Cowboy.
Under the Sea. Enchantment Under the Sea.
Will we accept Emily's answer?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
We'll
literally
accept
just watched
Emily's
it 3
answer.
days ago. So that
Congratulations.
The answer, I like Under the Sea because it is the theme of about 90% of proms, but the answer was
Yes, okay.
Wild, Wild West.
Wild Wild
So-
West.
Wild, Wild
And
West.
may I just say that I saw all of your pupils dilating at that question.
Yeah. I was just like, next.
Yeah.
Jillian didn't even try. That's okay.
I was thinking I would have gotten there eventually.
All right, question number 2. In Wedding March 4, Andrew Walker's character eats and drinks what items while waiting to apologize to his fiance?
Cookies and hot cocoa.
No.
She's already got it right, though. She's not guessing anymore, right? Isn't that how it
No,
works?
she has to guess. She has to do one more. It's the first to get
Okay.
2.
I got
So,
you.
Daniel and Jillian, to you.
Yeah,
Cake.
so sour candy and Diet Coke.
No. Jillian, you said cake.
Cake.
No, that's not it. Okay, so I will
She's
give you.
eating and drinking cake.
Am I allowed to try? Am I allowed to try again?
Yeah.
Yes, you can try again.
Pie and coffee.
No.
I know it's a baked good. That's all I know.
Would either one of you like to, Dan or Jillian, would you like to try before I give a clue?
God, no.
No.
Okay. The clue is it's 5 items, a mixture of pastries, and a type of tea. It's like right there. I can see Emily. I just almost has it. All right. I'm going to call this one done. The answer was, and the reason this is a question, because I laughed so hard when he said it, 2 glazed donuts, a piece of banana bread, and 2 mint teas. Because looking at Andrew Walker, you can see that's something he just eats all the time.
Oh yeah, I
Doesn't
sat
know what
next to
he's
him at
doing.
Hall's. I sat next to him at a steakhouse. Like, he's not concerned about his diet at all. I promise. Never talks about sugar or none of that.
None
no,
of that.
no.
None of that. So, all right, question number 3. We still have Emily with 1 and Dan and Jillian with 0. At Bramblefest 2022, Andrew told us about a surprising interaction he had with his neighbor while skinny dipping. What is that neighbor's name?
Lou.
Yeah,
Good job.
nailed it.
She had already
Answer about
said
half
it.
an hour ago.
Oh yeah, I heard you say that and I'm like, well, I know what question Emily's gonna get right.
Wow, Emily. So be thinking, you're done with trivia. Dan and Jillian still have to play,
Hope
but be
no one
thinking
has to
about
be anywhere. Nobody has to be anywhere tomorrow morning, do they? Because Jillian
No.
and I might be here
you're gonna
until
be okay.
like
Trivia is all
there
we're
like
doing
a-
tonight, right?
No.
it's just trivia, right? Jillian and I just signed up for trivia. That's all we care about.
Yeah, one of you has to have a strategy here. But Emily, be thinking about which position you want.
Okay, question number 4. Bethany Joy Lenz and Andrew Walker are busy Hallmark actors. As of August of 2022, in how many Hallmark movies have they shared the screen?
3.
One?
Both of you are wrong. Do you want to try
How many
again? Or do you
Hallmark
want...
movies. 2?
The answer is 2, but can you tell me what 2, Dan? Dan.
I know
you're
that,
mean.
Bottle with Love is 1.
Mhm.
And then Snowden Christmas is on Lifetime.
Yep.
And that's my favorite Andrew Walker movie, and it doesn't even get to be in this draft. I'm trying to think of the other one.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a clue. Think scene, not screen.
Oh. I don't know. My mind's blank.
Emily, can you do it? And then I'll tell the answer. It's Unexpected Christmas.
Oh my gosh. One scene. That's right. Unexpected Christmas.
I told you.
I'm sorry.
she's-
I can't believe I missed that. It's my favorite Hallmark
Yep.
movie of all time too. I forgot he was in it. Just forgot he was in it.
But Dan
Okay.
gets credit. So
But you
Dan
get
gets
credit.
credit.
I only needed
Like
that. I
5
just wanted to know if
times
you could
every
name them.
time I watch it.
So we're done.
We're done.
We're
We're
done with
good.
trivia. Emily,
Hey.
you escaped. You won. Emily won. Jillian escaped. Dan goes second. All right. So
Love it.
Emily, do you want me to go over the drafts again and what you get?
Sure, give me a few more minutes to think.
Yeah.
Or a minute.
Okay. So I'm just going to say them again. So drafter C gets 11 and 10, the bottom of the ranking. 6, right around the middle, and 3. So you're in the top 3, but you get 2 vetoes. Drafter B gets 9, 8, 5, and 2. These are really strong positions, and you only get 1 veto. And drafter A only gets 3 picks, 7, 4, and 1, which is really key. You get your 1 veto and you get the veto override, which can cause a lot of chaos. It can really influence the rest of the ranking, and it can piss your competitors off. What do you say, Emily?
So I've thought about this in multiple scenarios over the past few days, actually. And now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm gonna go drafter B.
Wow, interesting choice.
Yeah, I
Emily,
didn't see it
you
coming.
draft-
I have a strategy behind it, but I'm not gonna say why.
I gotta be honest. I thought you were gonna go with C with 4 picks and 2 vetoes, being the Walker expert in the room. I thought you'd get the 2 vetoes. That's what I thought you'd go with. That's interesting. I love it though. I love it. I love a
We'll
strategy.
see how this pans out. I mean, I could be putting my foot in my mouth later, but we'll see.
Okay, Dan, how about you? You come in, you have second
Oh, I'm
choice.
very excited that my pick is still there. I want the number 1 pick, and I want to be drafter A. Number
Oh,
1 for
man.
me, please. Thank you.
Not making that mistake again.
That's
Dan
right.
is coming in hot.
That's right. I want the
A.
number 1 pick. I don't care about the extra vetoes. Just give me that one pick and let's see what happens.
Wow, this puts Jillian in the hot seat to kick us off in a couple of minutes because
All right, I'll start getting ready.
for drafter
I
C,
get 7, 4, and 1, correct?
you get 7, 4, and 1. You get a veto and a veto override. Jillian, you get 11 and 10. So you're actually kicking off the list. You get 11, 10, 6, and 3, and you get 2 vetoes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a note here of the veto order. Since Emily won trivia, the flip side of that is that she has to be first in declaring whether or not she's vetoing a pick or not. Dan will be second in the veto order, and Jillian actually comes in third on that. So that gives you an opportunity to hang on to your vetoes if you need them, because the other 2 guys have to declare those first.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. When you're ready to, when you send your picks, you're actually going to send them via the Zoom chat. You're going to send them to me via the Zoom chat. You're going to change it from to everyone to just me so that nobody else sees it, please. And then I'll read the title. I'll say the year that it was done, what Andrew's character's name is, who his co-star is. And then you get to maybe give a brief description of what the movie's about, just 1 or 2 sentences if you feel like it, and then state your case, plead your case. Try to convince everyone that you've picked the title in the right slot. Okay. And if you're ready to do it, Jillian, are you all set?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Go ahead. Here we go. So Jillian is getting ready to type her movie title and send it to me in the chat. Emily is concentrating. I have Jillian's first pick. Really interesting choice. All right, so Emily has chosen one of Andrew's movies from 2018, where he plays Jeff Winslow. His co-star is Danica McKellar as Hannah. Jillian, do you want to tell everybody the name of the movie? Sorry, the name of the movie is Love in Design.
Yeah, so I actually had this one higher up on my list, but when I was just looking at my picks, I realized that the things that I had in the lower slots, I didn't care so much about, and so I wanted to sort of make sure that some of my higher ones got in there. So anyway, this movie is definitely, it's not one of my favorite Andrew Walker movies, but I think that the chemistry that he and Danica have is pretty good. I think that like the plot is not great, but I think that they carry it well, and there's some good dialogue and things like that. So I don't know, I think it's like a good role for him. He's like very much participating in the movie. It's not all about her, it's like a lot about him as well. So
and he's an architect. He's like an architect in 3 or 4 movies.
Yeah.
His favorite job.
I was saying to Erinbeth, if only Andrew had co-starred in the movie that we just watched on Hallmark, Fly Away with Me or Come Fly with Me.
Oh,
there would be no way that those balconies would be in the position they are in. I am still upset about this. All right.
A lot of angles. There's a lot of very tight angles there.
A lot of
really tight angles. So
yeah.
Love and Design. Jillian is offering that up in the 11th slot. Dan, what do you think? Do you like that? Do you want to veto? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is tough, man, because I only get 1 veto, and I went and this afternoon, after having watched as many as I could watch, I ranked his movies, and Love and Design is actually way higher on my list than that. It is the first Andrew Walker movie that I've ever seen. And so I do believe very strongly when it comes to Hallmark movies, the first movie of a certain type you see tends to hold stronger weight with you. That's just how it works with these movies. And then everything feels more derivative than that. And this movie, like, you're right, it's not great, but it looks good. Like something about this movie, whoever filmed it, like it looks really good, which is very rare for a Hallmark movie. It's like they knew it was about architecture, and so they made it look good. I also learned what a pergola was. That was fun for me in watching this. I remember we live tweeted this movie, which we don't ever do. This was like before the first season. So I like, yeah, it's one of my favorite Danica movies because I think she gets to be kind of the same in everything a lot. And so I like this movie comparatively to a lot of what we're going to talk about. But I don't know if I want to use my veto yet. It's so hard because the cool thing about one is if I choose a movie and they veto it, I could go off the rails, right? Like I can choose something they all hate. Whereas if I use my veto now, I'm just sitting around till pick one and just kind of here for the funsies. So
I told you, Jillian, don't let her smile for you.
Yeah, no, and she said that very quietly at Bramblefest. She came up and she looked at me and she was like, "Hey, I'm all quiet and nice, but I'm gonna kick your ass." She said that. She did. She leaned in.
She stole my breakfast, so it's okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let it. I would love for Emily to veto it, but I'm gonna let it stand to hold my veto, even though I think it should be higher on the list. I get the feeling Emily doesn't like this movie, so it's gonna end up at 11. But that's it. Not gonna veto it.
Okay, no veto from Dan. All right, Emily.
Okay,
that last.
Okay. Of all the Andrew movies, majority of them, there are some movies that I just wouldn't watch again of his. Love him to pieces. And this is actually one of them. However, this was also made somewhere in my top 11 list, goes towards the bottom half. So I'm actually going to agree with Jillian and keep this where it's at. So I'm going to hold, I'm being firm here on that.
Love in design.
Yeah.
Jillian, your first pick ever. You shoot, you score.
I did it.
You did.
Hey, we did it.
Congratulations. We have Love and Design.
Also, he can build me a pergola any day he wants. I'm by his house. I do have an orange tree, so he can come on over any day.
I mean, he builds one in like a day in this movie. It's impressive. And then they all go out for trivia. It's fantastic.
Not even a day. It's like a 2-hour period.
Yeah.
Everything was already pre-cut.
That's right.
And
it was
like IKEA, you know?
Yeah, they showed up and it was just like, we've done all the hard work, just snap it into place. Yeah,
exactly.
She literally told her parents to go see a movie and she would be done.
Yeah.
See a Star Wars. I'll take care of this pergola. Don't worry. It's a morning at best for me.
I forgot that.
And then they built another one too because they were so into the pergolas.
Yeah.
Right.
But there is that one scene where they kind of like slow dance under the pergola.
Right.
That's a
great scene.
It's a really good scene. So
it's a good thing.
You know.
Way to go, Jillian. Guess what? You get to do it all over again.
Hey.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Sorry.
So you need to message me your number 10 offering.
Reveling in her giant coffee mug, forgets she gets to pick again.
Right.
That went so well. I was like totally just sitting in the glory seat there for a minute.
Don't get a big head now.
Oh no, I would never. Okay.
Everyone is just concentrating here.
This is always the moment of truth. You know, this is like
it is.
No, I'm just paying attention to our side game, Lynn.
Oh, I forgot to mention that, you guys.
And I'm one up.
Is this a drinking competition too?
So we have a sorry. So Erinbeth and I, as the commissioners, we have a side hustle going on here. We had to each come up with our top 11. And when you actually have finished drafting the list, we're going to compare our lists to yours. And whichever one of us gets the most titles right, they don't have to be in the correct order of your list, but we just have to get the titles correct. Wins bragging rights.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
so it's cool. That'll be good. Jillian is
This
concentrating.
is so hard.
It's not that hard. Just it's
I'm like, I only get 2 more picks after this.
Emily, like, it's not that hard. Pick this one.
I can feel you trying to send me brain messages to influence me, Emily. I can feel it happening. All right, fine. I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
I don't think you were expecting that, Lynn.
Jillian is here. Jillian is here to play, people. Jillian is here to play.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Jillian picked a movie from 2022 where Andrew played Detective Tom Schultz, and he's co-starring with Nikki DeLoach, who plays Goldie Berry. And fun fact, our good friend Antonio Cajon plays Brad Bowman in this movie. This is Dying for Chocolate, a Curious Caterer Mystery. Boom.
Boom is right.
Boom.
No one was expecting that. Yeah, I know this is kind of a crazy pick. But I rewatched this one just today, actually. And I realized that when watching it again, that like the character that Andrew plays is completely different than any other character he's ever done. He's like very serious. He's got like this kind of dark edge to him. He never is like that funny, really. Like there's not a whole lot of like lines that he has that are humorous, and I think that he like brings something completely different to the role that he's never really had in another movie. So when I watched this originally, I was like, oh, he's not really in this movie that much, but he actually is in like, I don't know, 2/3 or more of this movie, and like he's actually in it quite a bit, and plays a pretty integral role in the whole thing. So that's why I've got this one on as number 10.
What do you think of their chemistry in this movie?
I think their chemistry is great. I think like they quickly, like way too quickly, start working together, actually. But when they do actually start working together, like I mean, the two of them just have chemistry no matter what. Like they've been in so many movies. I hope that like, you know, most of their movies that they're in end up on our list today, because like they're so good together.
This is their fourth one together.
Yeah. And even though it's not romantic, like there's like the hint of romance, and there's the like, I don't know, they're just always really, really good together because they're both such good actors.
All right. Dan, Dying for Chocolate, a Curious Caterer Mystery from this year.
It's just wild, Jillian. This is also in my top 5, but both this one and Love and Design are both in my top 5. And so I don't know at what point, like you either use a veto to get a movie higher or to not put a movie on the list way too high, or just because you don't like somebody. I don't know why I'm not using my veto here, aside from the fact that I know that I only have 3 picks. And so I should save it for something that I just, you know, there are a few movies that you guys are going to like that I think are abhorrent. And so I guess I'm going to save it.
Hang on. My bad. Totally my bad. I made a rookie mistake.
What happened?
I thought that was the case.
I know. I was gonna point it out, but I didn't want to.
I
wanted to hear Dan get through his
Emily goes first in the veto order.
Okay. I went first last time, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry just yet. Emily, are you gonna let her?
Great. Go ahead, Emily. I don't know what I feel yet. Go ahead, Emily.
So I am at 10. I'm actually a little bit surprised in this, because considering I know it is more of a recent one, I also just to watch this and I turned it off 10 minutes before we started this to get a little bit of a refresh. Can't go wrong with Nikki and Andrew. Like we said, it's his fourth movie. This role is completely different. Well, almost a lot different from his other roles, which I actually kind of like. I think the story is like not 100% there, but it's there. Antonio's in it. You know, you gotta take parts of this. But if you look at this picture, film, not even film, movie, Hallmark movie, as a whole, it is pretty decent compared to everything, especially when it comes to the mystery movies. And hearing Dan's position in this, it might have changed my decision, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. But knowing how many picks I have, I'm actually going to have to veto this and say that it needs to go higher.
Wow.
So
I know,
you're
not
not,
one veto.
Wow.
you're not going to veto
Very
it?
nice.
No, I did veto.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
veto
I'm
it.
just
Veto.
Man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love it.
Here,
I
I'll give a
love
little
that
bit
movie.
more reason why too, is there are, okay, he's a lover for maps, as we know, right? So like,
Yeah.
great scenes. But they had also adult conversations in this film. When
Mhm.
Nikki talks to her ex-husband, that's by far probably the most adult conversations that we've had in one, even a mystery movie. But I just think there's a little bit more substance to this than a lot of the other ones. And there is a lot of great banter. Like my favorite, I will say my favorite scene is actually when he goes into her house for the first time and she asks him if he wants a tour.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
that's so funny.
There's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
So sorry, Jillian, you're gonna have to pick again.
No,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So Jillian, go ahead and slide me a new pick, please. And Dan,
Love
she
it.
just saved your ass. She just
I did.
Yes. That's what
I
I'm talking
did.
about, Emily. Hope you're
Tell
not
me.
hope you're not mad when I pick one and you don't have a veto.
You
But
know what?
thank you.
I don't think I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, if you've listened to the podcast,
I
you know what my one is. I think you're
you
gonna
and
know.
I may have the same. So we'll figure that out. We'll see.
Good. I like it.
and also picking second, which Emily will do. She'll pick the number 2, can actually influence what the number 1 becomes too. So
Correct.
you never know. But it's really Jillian's picks that set the stage for the list.
While Jillian's picking, I do have to say that this movie is actually the second book in the series, which is probably why they are a little too familiar with each other.
Interesting.
Hallmark
think
is
they just
notorious
don't-
for
they
making the second book the first movie. They've
That is
done it
interesting.
several times.
I haven't read them, but
Who needs all that stuff?
Who needs that
yeah,
first book?
honestly, I think they just filmed the second one.
Which could be
Are they
the
doing-
first
I
book.
was just gonna say they're
'Cause
doing
that-
the second one, right? Yeah.
They are, and I think they just filmed it, and then I think Andrew went on to do Three Wise Men.
When you say I think, you mean you're stuck? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm.
And she said,
Oh, she's thinking. Oh,
He told me his schedule when he was in town, and I'm pretty sure he did both of his Christmas movies with the break in between. But I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong.
Actually, Erinbeth had a trivia question while Jillian is picking. She
Oh,
had a trivia
I sent
question.
my pick.
No, you said it?
but I want to know what the trivia question was. You can't leave us in suspense.
the one about the movie?
Sorry.
Are you wanting the
I
one
see it.
about this movie?
Oh, was there?
About the how much time elapsed, but let me get to
The question is, it's in an interview with From the Desk. How much time did Andrew say elapsed between his last day on set of Wedding March 4 and his first day of Love in Design?
What?
Go
How
ahead.
long before he
tell them.
left?
Yeah.
2
I-
days.
I was just gonna say,
Wow.
was it like 3 days?
Yeah, I was gonna guess
Yeah.
like 1 or
Wow.
2 days.
He ended Wedding March 4 on a Friday and started Love in Design on a Monday.
Wow.
All right, I have Jillian's pick for number 10. So this is a movie from 2016. Andrew plays Vincent Walsh, and his co-star is Shanae Grimes-Beach, who plays Alex Allen. And it is Date with Love.
Yeah, so I actually have this movie higher up on my list, but I don't know. I hadn't seen this one in a really long time, and I loved rewatching it. It is hilarious, and like I don't know, like everybody in it is just great. And I think the story is like something that Hallmark, it doesn't really do that often. It's like really quirky, and
this is the one where the high school boy
Promposal.
he
does
invites
the
a
promposal,
celebrity.
right?
Yeah. He invites a celebrity to prom, and she says yes to like make herself more popular, basically.
Right.
And then ends up meeting Andrew, who's the teacher, and he has no idea who she is, and so she's like, oh my god, no, this person doesn't know who I am, they must be amazing. But
Buy a nickel.
it's so funny. I mean, it's Ron Oliver too, which like I don't love every single Ron Oliver movie, but this one I really do love. And so yeah, I don't know, I would like it higher up, but I'm putting it here because I want to make sure it's on the list.
Good thinking. So Dan,
is it my turn?
hold on.
Oh no,
sure?
It's not.
It's
Emily.
It's Emily. Oh my goodness.
It's Emily.
You know what? Hang on a second.
Emily doesn't
Hang
have
on.
a veto, but I'd love to hear her wax
No,
poetic
you
about
can't. You
Date with
can't.
Love.
Here's the problem. I moved my drafting column up next to my picking column. So you should never mix your picks and your drafts together.
Oh, that's like mixing
get
hard
you.
alcohol and wine.
That's like
That's
page
right.
1 in the manual. Yeah.
We did that
Or-
too before you guys got here. So
Or it could be this.
I moved my pick order next to my hard tequila. It's what happened. Like I had a fifth of tequila and it was right under there, and there's nothing I
Thank
can.
goodness the GMs know what's going on, because
That's right.
Do
the
they?
commissioner doesn't. So, all right.
Oh yeah, that's us. Oop.
Yeah, I'm the commissioner. I'm supposed to be the boss.
What are we doing now?
Okay, so we're
Okay.
talking about a date with
Date with
love,
Love.
right?
You're talking about a date with love, and it's over to you, Emily. Do you like this position? We're still looking for number 10
So
here.
I like this movie. This is like one of his first 5 handfuls. I think it's like his 6th or 7th movie maybe he's done with Hallmark. The thing about this movie, which is a little bit surprising in a Hallmark movie, especially a few years ago, was there is a distraction kiss within like the first half hour, which is a complete shock. It pans out though. It's great for the benefit. I mean, there's a lot of great characters in it. I find it really endearing. He's an English teacher, so he knows a lot. The scene when the actress recites Romeo and Juliet, I'm all for it. So I am going to stay. Of course, I have to with Jillian.
You have to stay.
I have to stay. But actually, this was also low towards the end of my roster here, my slate. So
Was it really?
Yeah.
All right, Dan, the pressure's on you then. You're going to veto? You're going to keep it?
No, we're gonna put Jillian out of her misery and not make her pick again. This is one of those. This is one of those that I tried to watch for this podcast here. So don't say I'm not committed. And it's a Ron Oliver joint. It's Shanae. What's her name? She should be in more of these. And she's
Grimes
not.
Beach.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of an old Hallmark feel, but it breaks some rules along the way. This was right here near the tail end of my list, and I'm fine with this. It's not gonna, it's not gonna do anything special for me, but like there are worse choices. I'm happy with this at 10. Works for me.
All right, then we are locked in. We've got Love and Design 11, and we have Date with Love 10th. Jillian, you can take a little breather now because we're not going to have to pick again until we get to number 6. So Emily, it's on you now to put forward something to me for number 9. And you guys, while she's sending this to me, we might take a break after the 6th pick if you feel like it. If you want to keep going, we can. We're actually moving right along here. So you know, can just give a shout out.
Okay, Lynn.
Is it coming in?
Yep.
All right. Did not expect that.
Oh.
Emily, aka Mrs. Andrew Walker, has gone with a movie from 2018. Andrew plays Seth Anderson. His co-star is Lacey Chabert, who plays Chloe. Take it away, Emily.
What's the
So
movie?
I selected
It's My Secret Valentine.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's a few reasons why I chose this. So My Secret Valentine, Lacey runs a winery with her father, and he basically Andrew comes in to potentially buy the winery from the family. And with that, he stays in one of their cabins they have on the ground, and Lacey doesn't know it. And he starts writing her notes around when she comes in to check up on the house, make sure the guest is fine. And there's just a little bit of like mystery behind it. And he writes notes, he fixes cupboards, and you know, he knows a lot about why. So he's really handy is what I'm trying to say. I mean, he built pergola in the previous movie, he can fix things around the house. Can't go wrong with Lacey. I think it's a decent choice here. And I don't know, I felt like they had decent enough chemistry, but that's about the movie and my thoughts about it. So I am very interested to hear these two thoughts here, because Dan's smirking here.
I have to say,
I'm always smirking
because I have no stake in this, and I want to know what Erinbeth thinks too before we get to Dan.
And I'm actually go on.
I hated this movie.
And to each their own.
There was something about that message board that was just like, it was a combination Ouija versus, vision board from A Christmas Detour. Like, what is happening here?
Oh no, it wasn't like that.
Erinbeth, back me up on this.
Well, on my list, I felt like I had to pick between Bottled with Love or my Valentine, My Secret Valentine, because they're identical in the sense that yes, they are. He finds the message, he figures out it's her. I mean, like, and between the two, My Secret Valentine was better. I think both tropes are a little overused, kind of, that you've got Mel, shop around the corner kind of thing, but I didn't hate it. There are other movies on that list that I don't like, as you well know.
Dan, I've given you plenty of time to form a coherent sentence on this one.
Yeah, it's tough. Thank you. I needed that leeway. I feel like the star power alone in this movie makes it belong on this list. It's not my favorite thing in the world. And this is like, I feel like Lacey had a few years in there where it felt like she was more phoning it in, and maybe that's just me not being kind to her, because I think recently she's been really good, and like her initial few movies are really good, and she's done more movies for the network than anyone, so, or at least more Christmas ones, I think more total.
28 movies, I believe.
And so I just feel like this movie has that mystery element, and the star power of these two kind of high wattage Hallmark stars are great. The movie is not for me. The message board thing doesn't work for me. Not for me, but at 9, I can live with it at 9. Somebody tried to throw this out at 3, I was gonna have a problem. But at 9, okay, fine. Lacey and Andrew at 9, we'll give it a pass.
You're giving it a pass. What about you, Jillian?
Yeah, I'm fine with this here. I had it at my list lower. I had it, I think, as number 10. So I'm fine with it at 9. I really enjoyed this movie, actually. I think it's really cute. I like the movie. I know they do it a lot, but I really do like the movies where like the two leads don't actually they interact in one way, but they don't in another way, but they don't know it's the other person. Like I really like it when they're both like there's almost like two different relationships going on basically. I think it makes the movie more interesting. So I like that this movie it's enjoyable, and yeah, I'm fine with it at 9.
Wow. Okay. Perfect. So Emily, your pick for My Secret Valentine stays at number 9.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Did we shock you, Emily?
I know.
A little bit. I was prepared to I throw some little whammies out there, so I was prepared for a little backups in case it got vetoed. But okay.
So now you need to send me number 8. Yeah, you're gonna have to think about that, Emily.
The thing I did not like though about Mike's Secret Valentine was the clock that she said her mother made was the same clock that was in every 1980s kitchen.
Yeah.
Like her mom was a
very special
prolific clockmaker.
That's right.
It's wacky. But Jillian, to your point about the tropes about they don't really know who each other is and they might be interacting on 2 different levels. There's that great Christmas Secret Santa movie. I can't even remember who's in it, but she's in love with her male colleague and she picks him for being his secret Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah.
I think that's the name.
Remember the name of it? We watched a movie that has that exact plot.
It's
in
Secret
July.
Santa, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be actually.
Isn't that the
something
name
like
of it? Secret Santa?
my Secret Santa or something like that.
You're
Probably.
talking to somebody who, I think I wrote the title for the movie that's coming up that's called Pumpkin Everything. Like it's just like a blur.
I think the best one is the Deliver by Christmas.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I think that's the one that does it the best.
Oh, yeah,
of
they do.
all of
That's
them.
the
they've
top
done.
5 Hallmark movie of all time. That movie's so good.
I mean, it
no
made
doubt about
Dan's
it.
top in his other screen draft.
Dan liked a movie.
That's right.
Dan liked a movie.
It's really great on Zoom when we can all clap together. That's when it
I'm the
really
only one.
hits.
Thank you guys. Goodbye. I'm done.
I have Emily's pick. For number 8. This is a movie from 2017. Andrew plays one of the best names in a Hallmark movie, Chase Tainer. And once again, he's starring with, oh my God, Dan, do I need to call 911? Are you okay? He is starring with his
There's a rhyme and reason, okay?
with Nikki DeLoach, who plays Jessica. And the movie is The Perfect Catch. The Perfect Catch.
I don't know if
Dan's
Dan's gonna make it through this.
exploding.
Yeah, Dan is not gonna get through this. Okay, fine, whatever. To each their own. I don't care. Dan's gonna think it's a dumpster fire. I don't care. Here's my reason why. Yes, is it but this is the first and only Andrew Walker movie on, I think, even between Hallmark and Lifetime, that he actually interacts with a younger kid. So he goes back, he's a big baseball player, he gets in trouble, so we see a little bit of bad boy side, sure, whatever, moving on. Goes back to his hometown, Nikki's running the diner, she's a single mom, and he comes back and they fall back in love and all this stuff. He has troubles with his dad. It shows like a normal relationship for some families, I suppose, with sons and fathers. But he actually has a lot of scenes with this little boy who's Nikki's son. And we just never see that from him. And I think at the time when this was filmed, he didn't even have his oldest son yet. So it was really nice to see that progression. But I think, yes, there's a lot of holes in it, but it just gives me the warm and fuzzy. It gives me the feels.
It gives you the feels. I love that. Erinbeth, does this movie give you the feels? No, she's just shaking her head. No.
As an avid baseball fan,
Thank you. Yes.
this movie did not give me any feels.
I'm not talking about baseball per se, okay?
It's so funny.
He's a single dad in a movie. He's not interacting with
the killing me.
kids.
All right, Dan, you're first up. You're gonna veto this. What do you think of
This movie's god awful. It's terrible. I mean, it is as bad a Hallmark movie as it is a baseball movie. Like, and hearing Nikki and Andrew both talk about what they had to go through to make the movie and all the rain and all the challenges, like, I don't even know if they are proud of it. Like, I just can't imagine it being on this list. And I'm offended as a movie watcher. I'm offended as a baseball fan. And I'm trying to hold my veto. Like, in the last 7 picks, I get 3 of them. And if I have a veto left, then I have all the power aside from Jillian's 2 vetoes. This is really, you're testing my patience here, Emily. The movie sucks. It sucks out loud. It's bad.
Sucks out loud.
Oh my God. Like,
don't worry, you have the next pick, Dan, so it's fine.
Any other Andrew Nikki movie is better than this one. Any other one it is the worst Andrew Nikki movie by a mile. And like, I'm just looking on my list at what could be on there that would make me more upset than this. And I mean, there are a couple.
Actually, I could give you a few, actually.
Yeah, I know. How many, can you, Commissioner, can you tell me what the pit, like, who has, I know I have 7, 4, and 1. Who has 6, 5, 3, and 2?
So they're spread out. So you have 7.
Okay.
Jillian has 6. And it goes back to Emily for 5.
5, and then she has then
She
Jillian
gets
has
2.
3.
Emily gets 2.
Okay.
And if you
Emily
veto
gets 5
this,
and 2.
yeah, Emily gets 5 and 2. That's why B is so critical. I told you guys, I warned you guys. I said,
no, I
that's
get it. I get it.
one.
I still like where I am. It's just a matter of if I want to risk having the perfect catch in the top 5, which is just patently absurd.
She's making you work. I told you. She came to play. Jillian came to play.
Man,
Dan's like writing his list
no,
on a post-it.
I'm gonna-
I mean,
you know what? You know what? If everybody agrees that this movie's terrible, Jillian's got 2 vetoes. I feel like she'll do the right thing here. I'm gonna not veto it. No veto. I'm gonna let it stay.
whoa, Dan is taking a pass at vetoing this movie.
I don't know, man. That
And
could
he's
come back to
putting some
bite me.
pressure on Jillian. Jillian, what are you thinking about a perfect catch in the number 8 slot? Does it belong there? Does it belong on the list at all? What are you gonna do?
I'm so conflicted about this because I kind of agree with everyone.
Yes, exactly.
I agree with
No, I like this movie, and I also don't think it's a very good movie. Like, so
that's okay.
so it's hard because like I actually had this a lot higher up on my list. So for me to
this list,
I have no idea what's on your list, Dan. I'm like so confused about what might be.
I'm not confused what's on his list in the top. I'm fine. Yeah.
So I because of that, like, I don't know how I can veto this at 8, because if I had it higher, like, it kind of belongs at 8. Like, you know, it's a not a great movie. I kind of find it boring, but like it's fun also. And like,
Well, you have
a lot of
2
really
more picks. You get 2 more picks. You get
Yeah.
6 and 3, and you have 2 vetoes.
I know,
but-
and I kind of want to. That's the thing, is like, I want to save my vetoes because I have no idea what Dan is going to throw into this, and we haven't even gotten there yet. So
He hasn't picked it all yet.
I can't justify using my veto on this because I did have it on my list. I had it higher up on my list.
I'm shocked that you had this higher up on your list.
I can't do it. I can't use my veto on this.
Wow.
This
Did
stings.
Wow.
I actually got
This
away with
stings.
this one?
Yeah,
This stings.
I'm sorry,
The
Dan.
The
If it hadn't
No.
been on my list at all, then maybe I would have vetoed it. But
Man.
the perfect
I mean, at the end of the day, I
catch.
could have vetoed it too, and I didn't do it because I'm trying
You
to.
had the choice. You
Yeah,
guys are like
yeah.
hoarding vetoes here.
No, that means the end of this game is going to be crazy. And I'm just telling you right now, don't
It's gonna
test
be
me.
nuts.
Don't test me on that
Don't
one
test
pick.
me
I will-
anymore.
That's right.
Dan's like, you're done, people. All right, so we have the perfect catch at number 8. That completes Emily's back-to-back picks. And guess what? For the first time tonight, Dan is going to offer up a movie for the 7th slot.
Just put it in there already.
Wow,
Ready to go.
you just did. Not only did he send it already, it's in all caps, people.
No,
That's how
well,
you
are
do
you yelling
films.
the movie title to Lynn?
I wrote
And
not the
angry?
perfect catch.
All
That's
caps.
right.
Not the
That's right.
Not
And he
the-
signed
Yeah.
his name. Said Dan. Said Dan.
Okay, that's right.
It's like-
I did. Dan.
Dan, from Dan. Wow. Okay.
Emphasis.
Movie from 2015. Andrew plays Stuart. Couldn't find the last name. Sorry. Nikki DeLoach, co-star. She plays Penny. A Dream for Christmas. What do you
Dream
think,
for
Dan?
Christmas.
A
This
Dream
is
for
this is like what sets these two actors apart, in my opinion, is they have to play a married couple that isn't happy with each other. And then we have a dream where life's better, but isn't better. It's that family man trope. But you have these two actors that elevate the material. Is it going to win any awards? No. But is it different for Hallmark? Yes, because the two are already married. Do you have Nikki and Andrew kind of at the peak of their powers? Yes, you do. And so because of the difference in plot, because of the two leads, I want to make sure that this one is on the list. And it's my favorite Nikki Andrew combo of all of their movies. It's my favorite one. So I only get 3 picks left, and there are a few movies I think are better than the Andrew Nikki movies aside from this one. So this is probably a little higher than 7 for me, but because of the way I'm picking, I want this movie on the list, and I feel like 7's a good spot for it to land.
Well said. I love this movie, actually, for all the reasons that you just mentioned. Emily, you were first up in the veto order.
Well,
Dream for Christmas.
I know I'm all out of all vetoes, but
Yeah.
this was actually going to be my backup in case Perfect Catch got vetoed. So
Man.
I fully agree with Dan here on the placement. I wanted it at least somewhere on it. I'm glad that I got higher. It's a great movie. This was their first movie together. And I think it just set the tone for all things.
Was it really? This was the
Yeah.
very first one they started
For them? Yep.
Wow.
So this and then they did the Perfect Catch after this. So I support this.
Of course, because you don't have a veto, but we still want to hear from you.
I know,
because
but
you could
I'm
sway.
happy
You
to
could
give my
sway someone's-
opinion where it matters
opinion.
and make the
Commissioner just calling shots. Of course you
I
do.
am just
'Cause
calling
why wouldn't
shots.
you?
Because she has an Andrew Walker pillow. So, she's got to be, the woman has to be heard. Oh my God, put it down, Emily.
It's so much bigger than it seemed at Bramblefest. Like,
Really not
It
that
does.
bad. Okay,
It
so
seems
I do
massive.
have to,
Yeah.
I do have to do a quick shout out to my dear friend Marin Hogue, who you might know as Marinated in Shade. She's the one that got me this pillow. So if it wasn't for her, this whole pillow thing wouldn't exist.
Is
That's
this an
great.
item
I
that's
love
for
it.
sale? You didn't make it?
No, I did not make. She made it for me. You just go into this website called All About Vibes, and you can upload anything.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
no, it
incredible.
kind
have
of
it.
changes
That's a sick
things
plug
now
there,
that I
too.
know you
It's
did
a
it.
sick line. That's good. That's all right. And we're giving out
Let
last
him now
names.
get
Good.
10% off.
That's right. You can just enter promo code Emily at checkout, and you're
Promo
gonna be blown
code
away.
Walker.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good Walker.
It changes just a little bit now that I know you didn't buy it for yourself.
Oh yeah, it was fully. Thank you, Marin.
Jillian, you have had a little bit of time to think about whether or not you want to veto a dream for Christmas or keep it in the number 7 slot as Dan offered it up. What are you thinking?
Thank you. Yeah, I actually don't need any time at all. I am vetoing this because this is actually one of my all-time favorite Hallmark movies, and there's no way I'm letting it sit at 7.
Wow.
Wow.
Dan denied.
Wow.
Denied.
And can I use my veto override on my own movie?
No. That's the only thing that you can't do. You can't do it
That's
to
right.
save your own
Okay.
pick.
Just making sure.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know. So what that means is
man.
it takes it out of
Wow.
this position, but the movie is still in play. It's still playable. Anyone else can play it up the ladder.
Got it.
Jillian, I would like to ask you to define boring but fun. Because
Jillian said all of the following. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Erinbeth, about Perfect Catch. Yeah, this movie's not good. It was in my top 5. Boring, but fun. What? Are you a politician? Is this a debate? Are you trying to win like some sort of demographic that I don't know about? It's in my top 5, but terrible. Okay, Lady Panda.
I was gonna say she's like channeling
I
Panda.
stand by it.
Panda.
I will never call you anything else except
But
Lady
Lady
Panda.
Panda.
Oh my God, Dan, that was brilliant. I love that so much.
Oh man.
Now I will say I have played some games of Monopoly that were boring but fun, but that's about the only way I've ever seen boring but fun. So I think Lady Panda has hit it on the nose.
I don't dance.
I don't know if I can define it. I mean, it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so there's the Hallmark movies you watch, and they're so boring that you literally like fall asleep, or you just sitting there staring at the screen, folding your laundry, and 10 minutes go by, and you're like, what the hell just happened? That's like boring.
Yeah.
Boring but fun. Like, there's a few things here and there that keep you invested in the movie. Like, you care that she's gonna lose her diner, and then she buys a food truck, even though her boyfriend is telling her, don't you dare buy a food truck. You're gonna lose everything if you buy a food truck.
That is such a Panda explanation.
Yeah. Everything
Panda.
about that was wrong.
She is
I
Lady
stand by
Panda.
it.
Wow.
I think maybe you should do like the double decker of the weeks from now on.
Not kidding. Gee.
I
All right.
Google
I
Plus.
have-
I
We're on
don't
the
know if I
payroll.
can get the Google Plus.
I have
Yeah.
Dan's pick now for number 7. He's resubmitted, and he's resubmitted something we've already heard about. 2022's Dying for Chocolate, a Curious Caterer Mystery. You good on this one, Dan? Yeah.
The first time we did this, it was at 10, right?
Yes.
So I feel like 7, like it's once again, like Dream for Christmas is, I had Curious Cater higher than Dream for Christmas, but since that one's been vetoed, I think this is a good spot for this to land. It's respectable. It's a movie that we've already talked about, and it's another Nikki Andrews. So I feel like it works there. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So first up in the veto order is Emily, who actually has already spoken about this movie. You don't get a veto, so I'm going to bypass you unless there's something you really want to say.
I think 7's fine.
You think 7's good?
Yeah.
Okay, Jillian, it is up to you. You have 1 veto left. You're going to use it here, or are you going to let Dan keep it at number 7?
No, I'm fine with it at number 7. I mean, this was my pick earlier on, so I'm happy to have it on the list, and I'm fine with it being a little bit higher.
Dan makes it through with his number 7 pick, Dying for Chocolate, a Curious Caterer Mystery. So that brings us to pick number 6, which is guess who? Jillian. It is.
Oh goodness, I'm back on.
You're back on. Remember, Dan only gets 3 picks. And while Jillian's thinking about it, I just want you guys to know that I have more thoughts on the perfect catch, but I'm going to save them until the list is finalized. Until the list is finalized.
Can
Is
we
the perfect
what we have so far?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you have, just to recap, you've got in 11, Love and Design, 10 is Date with Love, 9 is My Secret Valentine, 8 is The Perfect Catch, and 7, that was just played by Dan, is Dying for Chocolate, a Curious Caterer Mystery. And so Jillian is up for number 6. So we are actually halfway through the list, guys. We're making good time here. Those boys at Screen Drafts can learn something.
They mess around. That's right.
We are not messing around at all. Wow, you are really concentrating, Jillian.
It's so hard because there's 3 movies that I really want to be on this list, and I only have 2 picks left. So I'm like,
Find something that's like boring but fun, like top 5 but not good. If you could. If you got something like that on the list, that would
it
be
just
great.
doesn't sound the same when you say it, Dan.
I know.
Like, is
You're
there
right.
something
No, it's
fun,
true.
but then also boring that you can add to the middle of the list?
I think because
Yeah, that's right.
Dan speaks in declarative sentences.
It's
He's
true.
very-
All of my opinions sound like they're facts, and that gets me in trouble regularly because they are not facts.
I'm the same way. I do a lot of public speaking, and it's like, you know what? You can fact check me later. I'm just going to speak
That's
with
right.
conviction. Right?
That's right. Yes, bingo.
Yeah.
You get it.
There you go.
I have always said it's not what you say, it's with the
It's how you
confidence
say
that
it.
you say it.
Bingo.
Yeah, I stand by it, Lady Panda. All right, she's coming through. She's coming through.
Oh, this is too hard.
You know, it's tough. This is when things get tight, I would say.
There's only 2 vetoes left on the board, right? Mine and Jillian's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And your
Yep.
and your override.
And your override.
Yeah.
They're technically 3, but your override is super special. So
I will tell you, after watching 21 Andrew Walker films in a 2-week period, I did text Lynn message Lynn the other day and say, is Andrew Walker the best actor that Hallmark has, or have I been brainwashed?
He's up there.
And her answer is, you've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
you just have to
Okay.
watch
Without
somebody
blinking,
all
you heard
the
it here
time,
first.
constantly for 2 weeks, and you will think they're the best that could possibly ever.
This is what happens with people that like get mad at our podcast because they all they do is watch Hallmark, and so eventually they're like, no, this is actually great television.
Yeah, it's a
And then they
film
hear
that
us.
deserves an award.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah,
know, I'm
yeah.
always going to go for the laugh for my response. So half of
Yes.
that was just for the comedy value. With
Yeah,
the
Lynn
other.
likes Andrew Walker.
I do. I like Andrew Walker at Bramblefest. Since I couldn't make it at the last minute, my friend Jessica had Andrew do a little video greeting to me. The 2 of them.
Yes.
It's super sweet.
No
And he was
one
so nice.
is better than that dude as far as Hall Star celebrity goes, and there's some great ones, but no one is better than that guy at making you feel heard, at giving you his time, and never feeling as though he's exhausted or tired or would rather be anywhere else. He is one of a kind. I've never seen anything like it. He's unbelievable.
It looked amazing. It looked
I see,
amazing.
he seemed really great.
I have Jillian's pick for number 6.
Can't wait.
Is it boring but fun?
So
I know.
I'm
I'm
just-
sorry.
I wanted
I'm sorry,
just-
Lynn. I'm sorry.
I'm just waiting for the explosion. That's all I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the explosion. Let's go back to 2016, A Dream of Christmas. Look at
I
Dan.
just did this. Like Jillian, I just did this. I just did this.
I know.
You used a video to get it from 7 to 6?
Now, here's the thing. I wanted it higher up, but then I looked back at my list and I realized that in order to actually get it on the list, I had to put it here because I couldn't put it higher up because there's other things that I want higher up. So it has to be
You know, no.
Just for the benefit of people who
Dude.
can't see this, we all have our hands over
No.
our eyes and we are
Listen,
laughing hysterically.
I take
Because-
back everything I said. Panda should be called Lord Jillian. That is just effervescent Panda. That is like a level to which I aspired. You're just thinking on a different plane. Like you're up here, we're down with the plebeians down here. We can't possibly know what goes on there. That is something. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I love it because it's along the lines of, no, you can't say it. I'm going to say it.
That's right. Yes.
Well, I would like to remind everybody that when we started, Jillian did say, I have no strategy.
Oh, she's got a strategy.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Don't. I swear.
She's just like the Joker.
I'm
in The
making
Dark
it up
Knight.
as I
Like,
go along.
she just wants to watch the world burn in a fun but boring but fun package. That's all
No,
she
just
cares about.
Dan.
burn it effing down. Like,
I love it so much.
I love it. Jillian, I need you back again.
Man, so
Anytime.
So good. All right. So, wow.
Well, it is what it is, folks.
great. Let me check with the judge. Yeah, no, I'm not going to veto it because I just played it at 7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
going to
Emily
stand,
Use your last
Jillian.
veto.
Emily
Okay.
I'm
can't
not going
veto
to
it.
use it. Not going to use it. Believe it or not. I like it at 6 as much as 7. So I'm good.
We have finally landed on a dream
Yes.
of Christmas, number 6. Guys, do you want to take a quick break or are you good to keep going?
I'll
You good?
probably, let me run use the restroom real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pause this. Let me just
Okay.
pause the record and then we will be all set.
I'll be right back.
Hear it. All right, so as I was saying, we have a dream for Christmas in number 6. That leads us to the 5th position. And Emily, you are back up. This is going to be your next to last pick. Number 5.
I have some A Dream for Christmas trivia while we wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
The angel in Dream of Christmas gained stardom in what hit sitcom?
I'd have to remember the angel first.
Okay, I got a clue. Shamil Shemazel, Haas and Pepper Incorporated.
Oh, Laverne and Shirley.
It was Cindy Williams. Shirley,
Oh.
aka Shirley.
Was it really?
It
No idea.
was.
I had no idea.
Well, when you're looking for trivia questions, see those things.
All right, I have Emily's pick for number 5.
Don't worry, it's not the perfect catch.
That would be funny.
Perfect catch
would-
2, even more perfect.
That would be boring, but fun.
All right, from Emily, we have an offering for the 5th position, a movie from 2015. It's a dead giveaway. I'm going to start with Megan Ory is the female lead playing Ashley Harrison to Andrew's Dash Sutherland. It is Debbie Maycomer's Dashing Through the Snow.
Oh, Dash.
Damn.
This is like your stereotypical, get to the airport, one car left, you got to make it through. The thing about this movie is he's actually an undercover cop. I think he works with like the federal government, FBI.
I think it's FBI, yeah.
And along the way, there's also they find dogs. She adopts a dog.
A little puppy.
Little puppy. All of the Christmas and winter feels. And then at the end, it's actually misidentity of who he's actually supposed to be after. For me, this has always been a good fun time, maybe 6, but I put it at 5. And I don't know, I just adore this movie. This is one of the first ones I saw of Andrew, and you guys can take it, but I just felt like I need to at least try and get it onto the board at some points. And this is where I've chosen to slot it. So
There's so much to love about this movie. There's snow, there's puppies, there's
puppies,
2 sort of deadhead guys that are switching license plates or something.
Yeah, I also feel like this film also gives me a little bit of a Home Alone-esque feel with like the robber good cop kind of situation too. I think there's some crochet or knitting that takes place as well.
She's crafty. They kept saying she's crafty. Yes. Awesome. All right, Dan, you are first up in the veto order. What are you thinking about Dashing Through the Snow?
So the only problem with this is it's going to make my life harder because that was going to be my number 4 pick. would be Dashing Through the Snow. And so I could pull a Jillian and veto it to get it to the vaunted number 4 position.
Lady Panda.
You can die now.
but-
Dan has said I could pull a Jillian.
I could. I mean, clearly that's a strategy I've done. It's one of those chess strategies, like at the very high end of the, the Rivers crossover or en passant or something. I don't know.
Yes,
like it's some like
en
the
passant,
lady,
en
the
passant.
Jillian. I don't know, but I'm not gonna do that. But now it makes me put a movie that I think is substandard at 4. That's my problem, is because, basically my, I have 1. I'm not using 1 for my 4th pick, and then Dream for Christmas, Curious Cater, and Dashing Through the Snow, like those are the other 3 to me. So in putting this at 5, you've now given me work to do, and I like to be the guy that has it typed in before they even tell me it's my turn, and that's not going to happen now unless Jillian vetoes it. And just go ahead and use it, because I'm gonna put it at 4. So if you really want it at 4, now you know that I'll put it there, Jillian. Okay. So if you want to do that, then we'll do that. But as it stands, I'm not going to veto it.
Dan is playing. He is playing, drawing out vetoes. He is doing everything here. Jillian, what are you going to do? Are you going to let this stay at 5, or are you going to veto it?
No, I want to see what Dan can come up with.
That
So,
was a passionate plea he made, though.
It was very, I feel for him. Not so much that I'm gonna veto it. No, because I actually had this one at 6. So the fact that it's at 5 and Dan had it at 4 makes it perfect. We all had it like right around in the middle. So it's 5. It's fine. I do really like this movie. I think it's really fun. I think like there's some like absolutely ridiculous things about it. The FBI agents that are in this movie are like completely clueless and have no idea what they're doing.
That was a brick.
Yeah, but like the road trip and like all the antics that she comes up with along the way, like the puppy and like
Isn't
I don't know,
there
it's
a
just
great? I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, it's
I didn't
okay.
mean to interrupt you.
It's
I
really
was gonna say it. Go ahead.
no, you go.
Isn't there a great scene where they have to share a hotel room and they put the pillows up in the middle of the bed?
It's like a Cary Grant movie.
Cary Grant movie.
Yeah, and they talk about it. Yeah.
Yes, that's a great scene.
It is. It's really cute, and that's when he confesses to her who he is, and she's actually asleep. Like, it's great. It doesn't. I mean, in a lot of ways, it does feel like a Hallmark movie, but in a lot of ways, it doesn't. It feels like it's like a legitimate movie, and I think like. I don't know. I like his character arc too. Like I like that he, is like all professional and everything in the beginning, and then he starts to like have feelings for her, and he's all like, "What do I do now?" So yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna veto this. I like it where it is.
I think that's great. Erinbeth,
Sorry,
do you like
Dan.
this movie?
You got work to do.
Oh, I already know what I'm doing, and I'm hating myself. Brandon Gray is screaming at me somewhere right now. Like he is.
Well, it's
I
your
think
turn,
I'm
Dan.
the only person that does not
Number
like
4.
this movie.
That's okay.
No, you don't. Well, I mean, I don't
know
like
why.
it.
It's not because of
Why didn't
Andrew.
like it?
Yeah.
It's not because of Andrew. I think Andrew is great. And
It's
since
Megan.
I threw Lynn under the bus and saying I was brainwashed, I will say it's the actress. I don't like her. I think she's
I
a
can see
fine
that.
person. I'm sure she's a great person in real life.
Tell them why you don't like her.
I
No,
don't like her-
really.
I don't like her face. She makes these facial expressions with her mouth that are like, why are you doing that with, like, she's mouth acting? And
Dear Lord.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
you know what? I have seen her in interviews and she doesn't do it in interviews. She only does it when she's acting. And now you will see it and you'll think, oh my gosh, she's right. She makes these funny things with her mouth. She mouth acts.
Dan
Doesn't
is
like
still,
her face. Got it. Doesn't like
Dan
her
is
face. Got it.
still pondering. Are you still
No, I
pondering?
got it. No, I'm good. It's a mess, but here it is.
Wow. I did not expect to see that.
Yeah, me either.
Panda's gonna rip your face off.
All of you. All of you are. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
Let me get to it.
It's not a
Here we
top
go.
5
All
Andrew
right,
Walker movie.
guys,
It just isn't.
Number 4, just remember this came from Dan.
You said that, wait, Dan, did you say this is not a top 5?
No.
Well,
My
then why
top
didn't you
4 are
pick
all-
a top 5 one?
You made
They're
him
all
do
gone.
it.
They're all gone.
I
My
have
top 5
more.
are gone.
I don't know what your problem is. I have more.
You got to
Emily
veto it.
accepting-
If you veto
I
it,
mean,
maybe
Jillian
you'll
accepting
see.
no responsibility for this, as rightly so, Jillian. This is not your fault. They need to own their picks, right?
Mm.
All right, here we go. Number 4 from Dan. From 2021, Andrew plays Chris. Amy Teagarden plays Vanessa. We get a little cameo from Tyler Hines, who serves them peppermint eggnog as a waiter. It is my Christmas family tree. Oh my God. Dan, explain yourself.
So this is a movie that when we did the podcast on it, I got
Emily's dying.
I got a lot of flack because I didn't like this movie when we did the podcast. Brand loved it. I didn't like it. They gave me a hard time. The commenters in the chat gave me a hard. Everybody was mad at me for not liking this movie. It features an absolutely bonkers new DNA testing company that somehow just sends out wrong results and gets away with it. It's a mess of a movie, but it's different. Amy Teagarden is lovely as always. Andrew is lovely. There are plenty of Christmas feels, and there's this fun. The one thing you can hold on to in this movie is like a longing for trying to be a part of something, even if it's not a biological family, just a family in general. And so, movie's a mess. I have no defense aside from mine are all taken aside from one. And if I go any lower, it's going to be embarrassing. And I don't hold these older ones in high regard like you guys do. So like, there's probably like an old one you guys are going to bring up that I'm going to be like, sorry, don't like it. But that's why I have my veto. But I just, this is what I have. It is what it is. There we have it.
It is what it is.
I'm
Emily,
blaming Emily because if Emily would have done the other one, I could have done the dashing through the snow, whatever other one you're thinking of right now, Emily.
No, I am in absolute shock here.
Yeah,
because,
fair.
guys, this didn't even make my list.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, so and this is why, yes, DNA aside, because that was just a bullshit part of the movie. Like it was just a joke.
Yeah. Yes.
I honestly don't think he had enough screen time.
He didn't have a lot.
And that's my concern with this as well. Amy Teagarden is a delight. Love her to pieces in almost every single movie she's in. But I don't have a veto. If I had a veto, I don't know if I would even veto it because I would be concerned about the top 4. But I'm actually in shock.
I mean,
but you're
Jillian,
shocked. If I heard you correctly, you're shocked because you don't think this even belongs in the top 11.
No.
Jillian could send me back to the mines, though. She could send me back to the mines.
She could send you back to the
12 or 13. So we'll see. So we'll see what Jillian says. But
wow, Jillian, they are
I'm
gunning for
actually
you.
shocked at you.
This is what happens when you play a great game, Jillian.
If you veto Jillian, he's going to go with unexpected.
This is what happens when you veto something at 5.
Unexpected
That
Christmas
wasn't on the
Mondays
list.
wasn't even on the list.
It wasn't on the list. If it was on the list, then that would have been I would have used
That would
that
have been
bullet.
number
I
one.
would have. It would have been 1. That's right.
Same.
Jillian.
I would agree.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on my Christmas family tree? Is it going to stay at number 4 or are you going to veto it?
This is tough because similarly to Emily, I did not have this one on my list. I actually like this movie. Like it does definitely have a lot of plot holes and stuff, but like I really enjoyed watching it. I'm gonna watch it again this Christmas. Like it's on my list of, rewatch movies. But he's not really like in this movie. So it's kind of hard to, and it's definitely not as good as like a lot of other movies that we have on our list here.
If you veto it, it will come out of play, and it doesn't sound like either Emily or Dan is going to play it any higher.
I know, but the thing is, I'm worried what else Dan might come up with, seeing as how this is the one that he picked. And like, I have other movies that I think are way better than this that I would have put in this spot. So
yeah, you're
I'm
in a tough.
sure.
We're in a pickle, aren't
You're in
we?
a tough spot because I've got
pickle.
one, and I'm saving one for one. I think one is unequivocal to me. I don't think there's, like, in my opinion, it's, as soon as I knew we were doing this, I was like, this is his best movie. So I'm not gonna use one. I'm just gonna go further down my list if you veto it, which is fine.
I think we're all going to disagree about one. Like,
Yeah,
we
that's
all
fine,
have
but-
different picks for one.
But
I'm
think
sure of
about
it.
this now, Jillian. If you get to one and you disagree with mine, what I put on that list next is it's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna stand as one.
I know,
And
but that's going to be
This
your
list
doing, not
reflects
mine.
you guys. The whole
It's fine
world
by
is going
me.
to know.
I will sleep great.
The whole world is going to know that Dan played My Christmas Family Tree.
I don't know if it's worse me play the perfect catch or him doing the Christmas family tree at number 4.
I didn't want to.
What do you think, Jillian? What are you going to do?
I think I have to let it stand because the thing
Wow.
is, like, there's other movies that I would rather have in this spot, but I'm actually fine if they're not on the list. So like, there's really only one more movie that I need to have on here. So I'm kind of indifferent. I have to be a little bit indifferent about this. Like,
That's fair.
I can't use my veto on this because I don't feel strongly enough about it.
That's fair. Then guess what?
Wow.
My Christmas Family Tree is accepted as number 4.
Nobody wants it there, but that's where it's going.
Man,
Oh,
The dad had a box of his exes in the closet.
that's right. He had a box of, what do we call it? Box of hotties? What do we call it?
Box of hotties.
Oh yeah,
Box
box
of
of hotties.
hotties. Let me flip through the box of hotties and see if I can find. I mean, it's a bad movie, gang. There's no way. It's a bad movie. I don't know what you want from me.
I agreed with you in the chat, by the way, during that, Dan. I did not like that movie either.
Thank you.
I didn't like it either.
But here we are, number 4
But
all
here we
time.
are.
We did it, gang. Yes.
But here we are.
Hey,
Guess
it wouldn't be
what?
a real screen drafts if you didn't get like a crazy weird one on the list
right.
that nobody
That's
now
wants.
we have 2.
So now we are going into number 3. We are almost done. Let me do a quick recap. We have in 11, Love and Design, 10, Date with Love, 9, My Secret Valentine, 8, The Perfect Catch, 7, Dying for Chocolate, 6, A Dream of Christmas, 5, Dashing Through the Snow, and number 4, as played by Dan, My Christmas Family Tree. And that brings us to number 3. This goes to Jillian. Jillian, this is your last opportunity to actually generate a pick. You also still have one veto left. So just DM me whenever you are ready with your final
Just
play.
Sent it on over.
I didn't like that look.
Number 3 is from 2019. Andrew plays Nick Everson. Abby is played by Bethany Joy Lenz. It is Bottled with Love. Jillian, why do you love this movie? Why is this number 3?
So this is actually higher up on my list. I love this movie. I love Bethany Joy. Like, I think like in anything that she's in, she's just great. But maybe there's some like New England nostalgia in there for me because it takes place in Boston. I don't know. I love this movie. I think that like the characters have great chemistry. I think that it's one of those stories. I know, Erinbeth, you don't like this movie, but it is one of those stories where like they have a relationship where they're working together and they don't like each other, and then they have this relationship that they're forming over like instant messenger. And the only part of this movie I don't like is the end, like the way they sort of the mix up and how they resolve it and everything like that. But I think that like that it's fine that that's not perfect, because the rest of it I think is just it's a delight to watch. It's so much fun, like both the actors, the characters, like it's just a super fun movie. So
they have great chemistry. It doesn't matter.
They
that
do.
Ocean tides don't work that way for them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
At all.
It's like those, I'm going to say it again, it's like the decks in that movie that we just watched about the birds flying away. It's not possible. These angles aren't correct. Emily, you don't have any vetoes left, but your head looked like it just wanted to explode when she said this. What are you thinking?
I don't know how to, I'm actually kind of speechless about this. I don't want to give too much away my thoughts, because it would influence my potential second choice here, maybe.
That's okay.
But I adore this movie. I like it. I'm just gonna let Dan
so cute. Oh my god, it's just like the cutest movie. It's so cute.
This movie, the thing with when he realizes it's her because of the glove.
I know. Oh my gosh,
the gloves were so
looks like she's gonna
stupid.
throw up.
Before I asked Dan his thoughts, I just, I know I've only been, part of the group I'm coming up on my 1 year. The marathon will be like my 1 year when I first signed up. And I don't think I have ever heard this word ever uttered by Dan. Cute. I don't think he's ever said positively in a movie description, you know what, this movie was cute.
I've said adorable before. I don't
You've
know
said
if I've
adorable.
said cute.
You haven't said cute. So what do you think of this cute? What do you think of this movie, Dan? You're going to veto it? Is it going to stay at number 3?
This might make things a little anticlimactic, but I have to veto this. Because this is the best Andrew Walker movie. Like it just is. I don't know. Like this is a movie that is a movie. Like it is a movie that, while dumb, all Hallmark tropes are dumb by and large. The performances and what they allow them to do in their characters transcends the genre of Hallmark movie. And it's the only Andrew Walker movie I can say that about. He and Joy are great together. They're great in Snowed In Christmas together on Lifetime. They're great in this together. Those are my 2 favorite Andrew Walker movies. It is like, I can't believe this is a February or something release. Like it is a movie that Hallmark should be playing year round. It is one of the best versions, especially of the mix up where they don't know who the other one is. And then he finds it, like, especially that shop around the corner mix up. This is as good as it gets from Andrew Walker. It can't be at 3, cannot be at 3, gotta be higher, gotta veto it.
Done. Veto. So I'm going to need a number 3 submission.
But see, now we got old family Christmas tree over there at 4.
So I wanted to let Dan speak his mind, because I feel the same way about this movie, and I didn't want that to get rid of my second pick. So
no worries. No worries.
I don't dislike this movie. I felt like I had to get Lacey Chabert on my list.
So did you I picked your Valentine up in number 2?
I picked no, but I felt like if I had to pick between this trope, I was going to put Lacey Chabert on the list over Bethany Joy Lynn's.
It's tough. All right, so Dan, you still have your veto override, but
I can't use it unless Jillian
uses hers.
I'll let you
She's
know.
thinking.
I'll let you know what I think about what just happened, but I'm gonna let you know later. I'm not gonna let you know now.
That's
Okay.
right. And then
That's fine.
actually, after the list is finalized, you guys will each have an opportunity to mention which movies you didn't play, you didn't need to play, or which movies you're surprised at. So
Can you veto your own pick?
No. It'd be great.
Is that
That would be
Let's
funny.
say we
I
could
mean,
call it the
if
Jillian
someone's
rules,
going to
because-
do it,
yeah.
Lady Panda
actually,
will.
I did hear, I've been listening to a lot of the Screen Drafts podcasts, and someone actually did. Billy Ray, I don't know if you're a regular listener, Dan, or not, but Billy Ray is
Mhm.
noted for being Lady Panda
Yes.
in the way that he plays.
Yeah.
He will cause chaos. He will burn it down. And I think it was Billy Ray in one of the mega drafts, which, by the way, this is considered a mini
Mini mega.
Mini mega.
I said to Erinbeth earlier today, I was like, why don't you do a 7-1 with only 2 GMs and make it easy on yourself? I'm like, no, all in.
More fun.
The game changes when you're ranking all films in a category. So like when they did like M. Night Shyamalan and you're ranking all of his movies, the strategy completely changes, because then you just start to lie to get movies where you want them. Like that's just what you do.
Yeah.
That was
So
a terrible list.
well, we were fighting in the car. Panda, Brand, and I, we were on the way back from Rama Drama, and I think Unbreakable is his best movie. And Panda and Brandon were going nuts. Like,
I was
mad.
so mad that was number 1.
But I mean, Sixth Sense and Unbreakable are fine. Just don't put like The Village up there. Be better, people. And then
Be
The
better.
Happening.
And I agree with you. I think Unbreakable is his best, but Erinbeth is
so
like
good.
die hard against that one. Die hard against that. All right. I have Jillian's pick for number 3, her resubmission. So this is from 2020, another one of my favorite Hallmark names. Andrew plays Dex. Maggie is played by Nikki DeLoche, and it is Sweet Autumn.
Yeah, so I think this one has to be on this list. I don't know if people had it. Oh shoot, my battery's dying. Hang on a second.
Oh,
Can we pause for a second? I'm so sorry. I have
That's
to
okay. We'll keep talking. Go ahead.
my computer will completely die if I don't go get my charger right now.
That's fine. That's all right. So Jillian's gonna step away for a second. So do you have any thoughts on Sweet Autumn, either one of you, just for talking points?
I do, but I kind of want to wait until Jillian's back. Do we have any trivia?
Yeah.
I don't have any
Erinbeth,
trivia for Sweet Autumn.
Can you
Sorry.
answer me this? What would you like at Shyamalan number 1, since we're here? Like, what do you think that number 1 should be?
Oh, good question.
I actually I would have put Sixth Sense or Signs at number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those would have been my
Signs is
top 2.
Signs is Brand's favorite movie of all time.
Sixth Sense, though, I think Signs is probably better than Sixth Sense, but Sixth Sense has a little bit nostalgia to it because it was the first one. It was that surprise ending, so it kind of like fights with Signs a little, but those would have been my top 2. Unbreakable wouldn't even have made the list. I would have asked to please just keep it off.
Are you serious?
I think
I told you I cannot stand it. It caught. I fell asleep while I was boiling something and it melted and cost me about $75 to replace it. So it was boring enough to make me fall asleep. And that's why I hold such grudge against it.
Could have been Mr. Glass. Could have been Mr. Glass out there just making you boil stuff. That's what it could have been. I think Unbreakable, Sixth Sense, and Signs are his 3 best movies. I don't like any, and I said that we're driving down the road and I was like, any order for those 3 I'm fine with. Like just, like Brand likes The Happening and I'm like, dude, stop it. Like that movie's terrible.
No, I hated it.
Real bad.
So bad.
So bad.
No.
Yeah,
Jillian is back. Welcome
Sorry
back.
for the little interruption there.
All right. Well,
okay.
I tried to draw out some intel for you on Sweet Autumn, but they wouldn't bite. So
that's okay. So yes, I think this movie has to be on the list. I think I don't know, it's definitely, it's not one of my favorite movies. I'm not even sure why I don't like absolutely
It's
love
terrible.
this movie.
It sucks. It's
I-
bad.
It's
But,
not
like,
even
there's
boring,
so
but
many-
fun.
There's so many things that like that make it has to be on this list. Like it's Andrew and it's Nikki. It's a really cute story. Like the kiss at the end makes it
Yeah.
just like a good movie no matter what. Like like that just redeems everything. The fact that he rides a motorcycle and she like jokes about, driving the motorcycle and stuff.
Jillian.
Like it's great. But I don't know why I don't really like it that much, but it is a good movie. So it has to
I
be
don't
on
like
this
it that
list.
much only because of the tapping of the maple syrup. I'm in New England and we're in New
Oh,
Hampshire.
yeah.
We do our own stuff, and that was just
Yeah.
stop it
Yeah,
already.
that's tough to watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was really hard to
they
watch.
do say that it's not maple season when they're doing it, but the fact that they made it a fall movie is just wrong. So
Yeah, no one will
um,
be able to tap their trees in the fall for maple
nope,
syrup.
it's not happening.
happens in
Sorry.
the spring, but that's
Yeah.
okay. That's neither here nor
Syrup's
there.
cool. It's South Carolina. That's all I got. Syrup's cool. That's all I got.
Syrup's cool. Emily.
I'm dying because I'm dying over here because as always, we get like Nikki's like dead relative.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
And
it
the
is what it is.
notes.
But okay, of course, the kissing big ones is great, but I feel like this movie has one of the best lines he's ever given, and every single time I watch the scene, it's when they are around the campfire. I always have to watch it because he says, in this, if I'm a closed book, you're an epic choose your own venture.
Oh yes, I love that.
I wrote it down because I had to say it. So I know, Dan, okay, you could give it, but I just think that's one of the best lines. I mean, I thought it was great. It was directed by Gary Yates, who he's worked with multiple times.
Snowden Christmas
Actually, fun
series.
fact, and I did Google this, which is, I think is a little bit ironic. It was written by someone who wrote on Desperate Housewives.
That's
So,
hilarious.
The script was so bad that Andrew, Nikki, and Yates got together for a weekend and they rewrote it the weekend before shooting.
Well,
That's
they did a
how
good
bad it
job.
was.
This is their third pairing together. This is the third movie that Andrew and Nikki made together. I looked that one up.
This one is actually, because Dying for Chocolate was the fourth one.
Yeah.
But this one was in my top 5, actually.
Yeah. So just Emily, before we get to Dan for his take, that line that you just said, what was it? What was
It is, if I'm a closed book, you're an epic choose your own adventure.
Yeah, so you should cross stitch that on the back of Andrew's pillow head.
I can't, no, it's double-sided.
It's a double-sided head.
And on his forehead.
No,
I'm confused.
Doesn't she respond by saying like,
am I the only one that doesn't understand that line?
Yes. No, you're not, Erinbeth. You're
what?
not.
No, it makes complete sense.
He's telling her that she is a choose your own. Isn't that what everyone
she flies by the
does?
seat of her
Choose their
pants.
own
She chooses
adventure.
what she wants to do. He's closed-minded.
She
When
doesn't
you
need
tell
his
someone they're
permission.
a closed book, that's not anything like a
She
No,
doesn't need
she's
his
choosing her
permission
own
to choose
adventure.
her own adventure.
Exactly.
Out of here.
Your own adventure.
Doesn't she respond by saying like, yes, I am, or something like that too?
Something like that, but I don't care. I think
Yep.
it's a great line, so
Yes.
go suck it all.
I'm literally crying.
I see
it makes,
behind that line.
I don't know why you guys
Oh
don't
my
get
gosh.
it. It makes complete
Oh my
sense.
God.
Can I tell you
You guys are
this?
killing
That
me.
off the record and off recording, I made so much fun of Nikki and Andrew for that line. Like actually
Wait,
was
do you want
like,
me to pause the recording?
bro, they're doing this in the commercial. How ridiculous is this? And they were laughing and it was a whole thing. I can't believe that line got brought up. I just can't believe
But
it.
so
I'm sorry.
funny.
I'm fine with standing by and bringing it up.
Of course.
It's a good one.
So Dan, is it going to stay at number 3?
I don't have a veto, right?
You
I don't
don't
have
have a
one.
veto override. So
Yeah, that
you're
doesn't
in for
help me.
3, actually. Jillian,
Yeah, I here's what I'll say about the film. Every inch of it is permeated with like really great chemistry. Like their chemistry is outstanding. The movie is just a nothing burger of a movie. It is just like spin the wheel, grab the plots, put them all in there. I hated it because it never felt like it was trying to be its own thing. I like actively don't like this movie. Having said that, this is going to sting for everyone else in this group. Had Jillian vetoed my family Christmas family tree, I would have gone with Sweet Autumn. That's what I'd have gone with.
Wow.
And I would
like that's where it was. So
that's
for
fine.
what that's worth.
You know,
So,
this
yeah.
movie, Sweet Autumn has lots of fall
I agree with
feels.
Jillian
I was
that
gonna say it did give you fall, which we don't ever get.
We
in
don't
any
get
It's
fall.
true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it does do that.
It actually overdoes the fall though, because like the whole color correction is basically making the whole movie yellow.
It looks like they were like forcing everyone to turn the motion smoothing on their TV. They were like, no, this is not up to you anymore. We're turning it on. You're watching soap operas. And that's
Oh
fine.
my goodness.
I just think it needed to make the list somewhere. So I'm happy with that.
Fair. Great.
Jillian, that was your final pick. You
Yeah.
have brought a lot of lively conversation and debate to this. You ended on a bang. You still have one veto left to play. You're not out of the game. There's still work to do for you. But we're going to move to the number 2 pick from Emily. Emily.
God.
Where it comes down to it.
Emily has chosen a movie from 2012 where Andrew plays Aidan McTiernan. Ariel Kebbel is his co-star as Jesse Patterson. And Kimberly Sested makes an appearance as the sister. This is 2012's A Bride for Christmas.
So yeah, this is, I'm getting some smirks here as I wasn't surprised. This is actually Andrew's first movie out of the gate for Hallmark. So yes, it is a little bit rough. This is also his first movie with Ariel Kebbler. They did another one called Bridal Wave. He is a horrible person in this movie, which is, but it gives me it, and it's straight out of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yep.
I mean, fine, whatever. But there's just something about them with I feel like their chemistry is really good. I feel like there's just this quirkiness to it that just works. And yes, we know it's straight, they plagiarized it, but I think this is, knowing how this will progress, the next choice, I think this is probably my safe bet to do this.
So A Bride for Christmas actually has a really good line in it. My favorite line from this movie is, I think it's Jesse's father, so Ariel's dad in the film, says something like, there's a lot of people you can live with. There's only one you can't live without.
Yes.
That was a good
That's
line.
so much better than pick your own
It's a closed book.
and
but
let's bottle
you-
some maple syrup
See,
in the fall.
I understood
right?
what that meant.
Whatever that was. This is a great one. So Emily, well done. So Dan, you are second in the veto rotation, but you cannot do a veto override yet, but we want to hear your thoughts before we get to Jillian.
Yeah, this movie, it stands out because Andrew Walker plays like an actively sexist pig in this movie for the better part of the runtime. I mean, it was like, they were like, what are all the things that guys love? Like, playing poker and eating burgers and talking about chicks and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, and it's such a put off for the beginning of this movie, because if you just I don't buy Andrew, like I don't buy him in the performance. And I think he played a skinhead Nazi in a movie, and I thought he was probably more accurate. And so I just don't buy him in the performance. Like, yeah, Sustad is cool as like the comic relief, and it's not the worst movie. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't on my list anywhere. I don't have a veto. What do you want from me? Like, it's good. It's going to be number 2.
I wish I know they made another movie together, Bridal Wave, but I wish there were more pairings with her because I really like this actress.
She's great.
Yeah. She
I
is
think
great.
she's really, I think
Yeah.
she's
She's
really
great.
terrific. So Jillian, you don't have any more picks, but do you have a veto left? What are you thinking on a bride for Christmas?
Yeah. So I didn't have this one on my list because I don't like this movie. I took notes when I was watching these movies, and I wrote down next to this one, I hate the plot, but I love the ensemble cast. And like, that's really the only redeeming quality of this movie is the cast. If it didn't have the people in it that it did, and like, I don't know, I guess some of the writing and stuff, like it would be completely awful. The tricking a woman into marrying you thing, and like the whole back and forth, and like her whole family like trying to get her to get married. It's just awful. Like it's just not, I'm sorry, Emily, like it's just an awful movie.
Okay.
So I have to veto it because
That's
I
okay, I
can't.
have it, so.
It wasn't even on my list, so there's no way I
Yeah.
can stand with it at number 2. Like I don't like this movie at all.
Wow.
Me, I
You
don't-
saved
yeah.
your veto for a reason. You said
Wow.
that it was important to you. So
Wasn't expecting that.
this veto can stand unless Dan plays an override.
Not going to play an override. Feel good about that decision. Interested to see what Emily comes up with at number 2.
Yeah,
And if
I'm
she,
curious.
just interested to see what she does.
Yeah,
I
because
just
now
want
we're
you
at
to know
Slim-
that
we're
both
at Slim
Erinbeth
Pickens
and my
mode.
jaw dropped when you said
We're in Slim Pickens.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
There's going to
So
be a
this is
bad
gonna
one.
This might be a whammy, and there's some movies that I just can't justify to. And I'll let Dan have his golden hour though, because
Because you know that's the best movie.
that's the best
Like
movie.
that's,
So,
yeah.
we're just gonna go with this then.
I mean, nobody's going to
Okay.
veto it. So
Here we go. We have a movie from 2015 where Andrew plays Luke Griggs. His co-star is playing Georgia Dwyer. Jacqueline Smith makes an appearance. Ariel Kebbel is Georgia Dwyer, and this is Bridal Wave.
Yeah, so this is second movie within a few years that they have here. I don't know. This is, I pick it from the bottom barrel folks here because they can't justify anything else. I mean, she is married to she's engaged to this individual that they were going to have a wedding that's an hour outside their town, and her fiance basically disappears like 5 times within the matter of 3 days. Like the day of their wedding, doesn't come back until the day of the wedding. Andrew's like, they're at a resort. Andrew lives on grounds, and he is actually an architect.
Again, yeah.
Again, built a bench. He built something else. The scenery is great. But in the end, she decided that she is breaking off with her fiance because she realizes that it's just wrong. And it's all about work. They were working relationship. So again, the chemistry with the two leads, I think, is there. And that's all I got.
And you got Jacqueline Smith. You got
Jacqueline Smith, who plays her soon-to-be future mother-in-law, who is a piece of fucking
piece of what? Speak up there. I didn't
It's okay.
quite.
You can say that.
Broke up.
He's an effing work. So
No, she's awful.
I
She's
would tell her how it is and walk away and do the same thing, call off the engagement, because I would not want her to be my mother-in-law.
Yeah, she's awful. There's some great scenery. There's some good interactions. There's,
Also,
of course, Andrew
mother-in-law
eating
should not
everything
decide
for free.
mother-in-law should not decide what wedding dress the bride should wear. Thank you.
Yikes.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. All right.
Can I
There we
ask something
go.
about this movie? Does anyone else feel that sandals are not footwear? Because that was one big thing about this movie, was that
Everyone's
they
wearing
kept
sandals.
telling him he wasn't wearing shoes.
Oh, shoes, because he was
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
sandals.
And I'm like,
Wow, I didn't remember that. I didn't
I'm like,
remember
he
that.
also
No,
crashed
I-
all the she also crashed like all of his wedding events. So he's a wedding crasher. So I don't care.
That's right.
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 We know that Dan doesn't think fish are pets, so I don't know what he thinks about sandals.
They do have a sole on them, like they are shoes.
They are shoes.
Yeah, come on. I will say this. I have not seen this movie. I knew that it might come up in conversation. I've heard it had been talked about, and I just didn't get to it. So I don't really have any thoughts. I also don't have any vetoes. So there you have it.
It stays. And so that's what can happen in the last two picks.
That's right.
And that's why I said at the beginning that number two can really influence what number one becomes, right?
That's right.
So before we get to number one, let me do a quick recap. We've got Love and Design for 11, Date with Love for 10. Number 9 is My Secret Valentine. Number 8 is The Perfect Catch. Number 7 is Dying for Chocolate. Number 6 is A Dream of Christmas. 5 is Dashing Through the Snow. 4 is My Christmas Family Tree. 3 is Sweet Autumn. 2 is Bridal Wave. And it is all now in Dan's hands because there are no more vetoes left to play.
Can I just say I am so happy right now? Because you guys did exactly what I wanted you to do.
Same.
Yes.
Like I wanted to have Bridal Wave on the list. I did not want to have Bride for Christmas on the list. And I'm so freaking happy that this is going to be the number one.
So I have Dan's number one. But I want to ask.
It's actually Marion Bright. It's Marion Bright, guys. Got it.
Damn you, Jodie Sweden.
Yeah, we needed to get Jody on this list.
What do you think his number one pick is, Jillian? What do you think Dan just gave me?
Oh, Bottled with Love.
Yeah, it's given. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
All right. No surprises there.
He did exactly what I wanted him to do.
I knew.
Well, to be fair, Lady Panda, I did what I wanted to do. It just happened to be what you wanted me to do too. Like it's a both ends.
I love it.
Okay.
And she's not wrong.
If we go back in text, actually, when Lynn asked me to be on the pod, and then she said Dan's going, I'm like, oh, that's good because we already know what our top choices. I literally said that to Lynn. I'm like, have the best movie already. We're good.
Right. Yeah,
Dan?
I'm glad that we all three agree on that because it is the best movie.
Yes,
and I also, like, for me, it was just, I had 4 movies that I wanted on this list and I got all 4 on the list. That's all I really cared about.
What were they?
The fact that the casualty of My Family Christmas Tree happened like that it is what it is. But I only had 4 movies I cared about being on the list. And it was Dashing Through the Snow, Dying for Chocolate, Dream of Christmas, Bottled with Love. Those are the only 4 I cared about being on the list. As long as they were on the list, I was happy. And I knew getting the first pick would allow me to do that in case you guys were not right about Bottled with Love. But it turns out you were, so it worked out great. And then we added in a little Amy Teagarden for the fun of it. So, but Bottled with Love is the best. It's the best of his movies. Even if Erinbeth doesn't think so, it's the best of his movies. And so I'm happy that we all agree there.
It is. And to be fair, full disclosure, as soon as Dan said yes, he did within like 3 minutes say, I already have my 8. I was
That's
like,
right.
oh shit. And
Yes,
then when I locked in Emily was like, literally in 5 minutes, she messaged me back and she's like, oh yeah, I've got mine. And Jillian
Jillian
was not that far behind. Yeah. Right. We're right there.
And then
So
I changed it like 5 times today while we were doing this.
Yeah.
that's
Just
what
perfect
happened.
catch,
That was
moving all
happened.
around the board there. Just was like, is it 1? Is it 16? I don't know. Like it could be, I don't know.
I didn't know if you guys were going to agree with me that Bottled with Love should be at the top. How was I supposed to know that you guys like that movie too?
Jillian,
I
was there
said as
anything
much on a podcast, so
was there anything that you wanted on the list that didn't make it, that was really your ride or die ones? It had to be on there, but it just didn't happen.
No, all the rest of the ones that I had like 3 maybes that weren't on my list, but I was like, I'd be okay if they were on there. And that was My Christmas Family Tree, Love Struck Cafe, and Marion Bright. And then the only other one that I had, because I like had to have something at number 11, was the 27-hour day,
Oh.
which I don't really like that movie, but I think it's better than a bunch of the other ones, and so that's why I had it at 11.
That's great.
I would have vetoed immediately at 11 at 27-hour day. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Same.
Yeah.
That didn't even make my list.
I'm glad that we didn't have that on the list.
Yeah,
What
Marion
about you,
Bright
Emily? Was there
only-
anything that,
Oh, sorry, go
that
ahead.
you were ride or die for that didn't make it?
No,
onto the
I mean,
list?
my ride or dies, I got on, they were Buy with Love. I really wanted Bride for Christmas, Kate, Dying for Chocolate, Sweet Autumn, and then of course Dash Through the Snow. But everything that we picked was at least in my top 10 in some capacity. The only one that wasn't, that we didn't talk about, and this is where I was going back between like 11 and 12, was Marion Bright. I'm just kind of glad we did not bring Alicia Witt into this, because Christmas Tree Lane is so god awful. I can't. And if we made an Alicia Witt movie at like the top 3, I would have ran out the room.
We
If-
avoided
if
the
you-
top 11, top 12 Christmas fiasco. with
well,
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
If there was the next 10 and 11 on my list by default were Marion Bright and Christmas Tree Lane. Like there was a world.
That
There
you
was
were
a world.
considering.
Well, I mean, I've not seen, there's some of these I've not seen, and some of these old ones that you guys like I was like, I didn't even finish them. So we're running out of movies that I've seen. And I think 27-hour day is just, it's so bad. And so there was a world, if you had said Bottle with Love at 2, I was in between Wit at 1 and Marion Bright at 1.
I would have
Those
put
would have been the
Marion
2.
Bright at 1 instead of the Wit, honestly, because that's
You
more.
can't make that same mistake twice.
But you can't make that same mistake. No, you can't.
Oh, I didn't know. I tried to stop it the first time. That's true. I wouldn't have done it out of the principle of the thing. Oh, I feel much better about this draft than I did about the last one. Where I
All
decided
right. That's
I wanted the extra veto, which I just didn't need. And I should have just gone for pick 1 and saved this from Alicia Witt. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
before I read the list for a final time, Erinbeth and I are going to tell you what our picks were. And again, we didn't have to get them in the right order. We just needed to get the titles right. Erinbeth, I'm going to switch things up a little bit because I've kind of been marking my list off on my
I was
end.
marking both our lists.
Okay, so why don't you read your list and then say which ones were on it? And if was your list ranked? For those numbers?
My list is ranked, and I'm really mad at myself because my half of my list got deleted, and I was quickly trying to write it in before I sent you, and I wrote the wrong movie now, and now I lost. So,
So go ahead. Hit us
and
with
I
your
also
11.
put a movie in there that I do not like in its place.
No,
So
I did.
anyway, my 11 was Dashing Through the Snow because I knew it would be on the list,
Yeah.
not because
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
My 10 was Dying for Chocolate. 9 is My Secret Valentine. 8, Love and Design. 7, Appetite for Love. 6, The 27-Hour Day, because I wasn't doing these necessarily what I like, but I was trying to figure out who you guys would want included on your list. So 27-Hour Day I was like, maybe I got to get maybe that Autumn Reeser one because someone will want Autumn Reeser. I put Christmas on My Mind at 5, should have been Dream of Christmas. That was not right. I
okay.
hated Christmas on My Mind. I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
So bad.
terrible. It should have been A Dream of Christmas, but I made the
Mm.
mistake and I have to live with it. Number 4 was Date with Love, 3, Bridal Wave, 2, Sweet Autumn, and 1, A Bride for Christmas. I actually like that
Wow.
movie.
So how many did you get? Right?
I got 7.
Okay. So I'm going to read my list pretty quickly. I'm just going to make a full disclosure here. Number 1, I too tried to guess what I thought you guys were going to pick. There are only a handful on this list that were really my ride or dies, and they're not necessarily in the correct order. And there's a reason for that, but I'll get to it. So please don't judge me. Number 11 was My Christmas Family Tree, a movie I did not like. There were parts of it that I loved, but no. Number 10 was The 27-Hour Day, for the same reason as Erinbeth. I thought for sure there was going to be an autumn recent.
Oh, the veto was ready for that movie. If anybody put it, it was happening.
Sweet Autumn, number 9. A Date with Love, number 8. Again, I'm just like trying to mind meld with you guys. Number 7 was A Dream of Christmas. 6, Dashing Through the Snow. 5, Christmas on My Mind. All right, this is where it gets real. Number 4, Bridal Wave. I love that movie. I'm sorry. Number 3, A Bride for Christmas. Again, I love that pairing. You know, it doesn't hold up by 2022 standards and norms. It didn't hold up in the 2012 standards and norms either.
About to say,
for plagiarism.
1912 standards and norms.
Not
maybe?
good. Not good.
Ariel is so great. Like,
she's awesome.
She is
my
so
number 2.
great.
My number 2 and my number 1 were actually switched. Number 2, I had Bottled with Love, and it had originally been my number 1. I love this movie. It's great. But my number 1 was a recent addition to the list. It wasn't even on my list until this past weekend when I actually caught it airing on the Hallmark Channel. It's The Perfect Catch.
Oh my God.
Don't fire me as the commissioner.
No,
justified in some capacity.
Oh my God.
It was boring,
Oh
but
my
fun.
God. You sit on a throne of lies. You sit here
feel
with
so
your
justified.
commissioner's
I'm like
pen,
insulted that you guys thought that we were gonna like some of those
Laughing.
movies.
laughing at Emily, just going along with the joke, over here secretly at numero uno, the boring but fun Perfect Catch.
And
I'm
I
not
had
proud,
her
and
list
honestly-
sitting in front of me and I was dying. I was like, oh my
There's
God,
that term in
this is
psychology
number
and
one.
marketing, the recency effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would do it.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even on my list before. It was, and
Well,
not
It
only did I
shouldn't
put it on my
have
list, I
been.
made it number 1. So
If
there
you
have
would
it.
have told me if it was Love on Ice, I would have just walked off, ended the
That was
Zoom.
so bad.
Yes, sayonara.
You guys, if
I'm
we do
really-
another one of these, would you want to come back and be one of the
Yes.
drafters? Not necessarily together.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
This was so much fun.
Did you have a
Please
good time?
have me back anytime. I loved it. It was
This is
great.
great.
You guys are awesome.
You guys
I
are
was
great.
I'm kind
I
of
was-
upset that A Christmas Card wasn't on this list.
No, you know what's wild is that I had in the list you sent out, I couldn't read it very well, like it felt like the font kind of blended in
Did
with
you
the
try
white. And
printing
so like,
it, Dan?
yeah, I should have printed
Did you
it.
print it?
I printed it. I have a dot matrix printer at the house that I use for rental cars that I thought would be a good way to go, but I just didn't pull the trigger there. I'm sorry. That's on me.
That is so funny. Emily, would you come back? Help us out?
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
was joy. I was, as soon as you said it was Andrew, I said absolutely. When I heard it was Dan and Jillian, who Jillian I have a pleasure meeting at Bramble Fest, I was like, yes, of course. I was absolutely, if I didn't get through trivia, I would never hear the end of day of it. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm so thankful that part was over. And then
Erinbeth, you should have asked baseball trivia instead. You should have just thrown you in baseball
I really,
trivia.
I considered
few-
switching that neighbor question because I'm like, she's gonna get it. She just said she was in his
Yeah.
house.
No,
But
so
Yeah.
it
I felt like
perfect.
I ordered him the way I thought it would go. And sorry, guys.
No,
Jillian,
Oh,
Fair.
it worked out
You-
perfectly.
You lived up to my expectations
Thank God.
and
Oh,
then
so great.
some. You just burned it down.
Thank you so much.
It was awesome. Would you do
I
it
had-
again?
Oh,
We have
definitely.
another-
I had so much fun. And yeah, it totally worked too. I didn't have any strategy and I was super nervous about what I was gonna do, and it worked out perfectly. Everybody did exactly what I wanted them to do.
You guys get just a great round of applause.
no
Just
putty
really,
I
Really
had
really
no
awesome work.
strategy. You guys did exactly what I wanted you to.
That's right. You're just the puppets. I'm just up here doing my thing.
I made Dan really crazy.
calls Dan
That
out.
was
I
fun.
I will never
I mean, it's
forget
not
that
gonna be
veto
hard.
in my life.
Yeah. Moving
Yeah.
the movie from 7 to 6. That was a great choice.
Yeah, listen,
Great.
that I will not stand with that at 7. Not on your life, buddy. That movie is 6, etched in stone.
It was just the best. If you guys have ideas on what like the next draft topic can be or what it is, just shoot them my way, because it'll probably be like another month before we try another one. We still have Cults, Crimes, and Chardonnay that we do, once a month too. But this was a good time, wasn't it, Erinbeth?
It was
Oh my gosh, so much
And
fun.
we knocked this out.
I will
We knocked this
research
out in-
movies anytime you want me to.
Awesome.
Thank you for
I love you.
organizing this,
I
Lynn.
just love you.
Yes,
Organized.
We did this
for
in
the
2
Lord.
hours, you guys. We did this in 2 hours, excluding
I love
the
it.
preamble. So it was great. All right, one more time for the record book. These are the ultimate 11 Hallmark movies starring Andrew W. Walker as
There he
drafted
is. Look at
by
him.
as drafted by Emily, Dan, and Jillian. Here we go. Number 11, Love and Design. 10, Date with Love. 9, My Secret Valentine. 8, The Perfect Catch. 7, Dying for Chocolate. 6, A Dream of Christmas. 5, Dashing Through the Snow. 4, My Christmas Family Tree. 3, Sweet Autumn. 2, Bridal Wave. And the number 1 ultimate Andrew Walker Hallmark movie is Bottled with Love.
Mm,
Andrew,
we did it.
We did it.
You did it.
Did it.
And it wasn't Christmas Tree Lane.
And it wasn't
Yeah,
Christmas
somehow.
Tree Lane. I'm
Dodged
going
the
to go
wet
ahead
bullets.
and stop the recording. Are you sure you want to stop? Hallmark Movie Drafts is produced by me, Lynn Austin, with additional creative and research support from Erinbeth Cermak and Catherine Baca. This show would not be possible without the dedicated and talented Deck the Hallmark podcast Double Deckers, who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much. Intro and outro music is courtesy of Amada Zapana. If you love this pod, please leave a 5-star review. It helps other Hallmark movie fans to find us and join in on the shenanigans. Be sure to follow the show at Hallmark Movie Drafts on Instagram.